Hello again, this is Dr. Michael Myers, and I'm course lead faculty for BST 322 Introduction to Biomedical Statistics at National University in San Diego. In today's short video, what I'm going to show you is how to make a graphic representation of nominal scale variables or ordinal variables with a small number of values. These are, of course, the qualitative type variables that we see as we're describing for yes, no, for example, cold status, or whether they got a disease or not, or here we see in this data that I've typed in here for this example of ordinal variables like the class people are in, freshman, junior, senior, or sophomore. Well, the question is, how do we do a frequency distribution? How do we display this data graphically for these qualitative type variables? Well, this is exactly what we see in the textbook. And this is figure 2.3 from your text, and here Polit, the author, has made a graphical representation of the married, single, divorced, and widowed. So these are nominal level variables, the same qualitative type that we see here. And what she's done here, she's used SPSS to make this bar graph. And so the question becomes, how do we do this in Statcrunch? Well, Statcrunch can do the same type of bar graph very easily for this qualitative type data. So here I've just typed in some made up data for you for an example. So here we have each row again represents a person in our study, and you can see the first person's a freshman and their SAT score was 650, the next one was a freshman, 665, and so forth. Well, the question is, if we want to display the makeup of our study, how do we do that in Statcrunch? Well, it's done very easily. What we do is we simply go up to the graphics tab and we're going to click bar plot. Now remember, last time we did our continuous data with qualitative data, we went to the histogram, right? But now this is a different type of data. It's qualitative, and it's ordinal level variables, or you also do this with nominal variables like yes, no. You're going to go to the bar plot and then click on with data, because here we have the data. We don't have the summary numbers, we have the actual data. So we click on that, and again that's going to bring up our dialog box. And so we're going to select our variable by clicking on class, because we don't want SAT here, we just want the class makeup to look at. And by default it's going to give us our split bar graph. So we click next, and for the type we can click on frequency, but we probably want to do relative frequency, which will give us the proportion or the percentage, right, which are related just by timesing the proportion by 100 gives us the percentage. And we're going to do our ascending variables. We can display those values above the bars if possible, because that's what we did in our what we saw in Polit's graph. We can then go ahead and label our axes. So our X label is going to be the class that they're in, right? The Y here is going to be the percentage or the proportion of what we see in each class, and our title could be just the status. We can type in anything here, status by class in our study. We can have the horizontal lines there if we'd like, or vertical ones. Here we'll probably just leave the horizontal lines, and we can click next. And we want the rows and columns to be 1, so that's just the default, and we just click on create graph. So very quickly here you can see the Statcrunch returns a nice bar graph for us. So again, here's our class, freshman, junior, senior, sophomore, and again I've gone in, like I showed you last time, you can make these the font here larger by simply going to the Edit tab and changing the preferences, so you make that very legible. So here we have a nice bar graph, and then again we can go to options and we can copy and paste this into our Word document, or we can paste it into PowerPoint and make it look even better for our presentation. So this is a simple way that Statcrunch can easily and quickly make a bar graph for you. Of course, the other thing that Statcrunch can do is you could, for this nominal or ordinal variable type that we have, you can again click on graphics and you can make a pie chart. So again, we'll click on pie chart with data because we have the actual data. Again, we're going to click on the class for our variable. We can put in the count or the percent. Here we probably want to do percent of total. And we can give it a title. So this is class makeup of study. and click Create Graph, and now Statcrunch gives you a nice pie chart. So again, this is what we would do. It's similar to the result we got for the bar graph, but again, we would only do this with our qualitative type data, where we have nominal variables, or as we have here, an ordinal variable with freshmen, juniors, sophomores, and seniors. So again, this is a very easy way that Statcrunch can handle qualitative data and display it graphically for you.